Hello, my friends. It is late October here in Vermont, and I just wanted to give you a tour of my home orchard and berry garden before the frost comes. So we actually have had almost a month since our usual average last frost, and it looks like we might get frost tonight. So I wanted to give you this tour while my flowers are still there, because the frost may take them. And I will be harvesting some to bring inside after I show you. First, we have our pear tree here. You can see it's losing its leaves. There are a lot of weeds and also the suckers in the tree here in the garden right now, especially in the orchard, because I've been so focused on getting the harvest out of the kitchen garden. So this is what it is right now, and I'm going to be planting bulbs in the next few weeks, and so I'll weed a little bit as I go through. But let me show you what's happening. Here we have our newest addition that we planted this spring, the peach tree, and I neglected to weed it all year. Moving on down this way, we had this patch of yarrow that just kind of takes over. So I do love yarrow, so I don't mind having it in there. It just might be a little bit much. These are, I believe these are little flower girl zinnias from Floret. Aren't they so cute? And on that side, oh, let me go over closer to that side for you. I'm just going to climb over the bed here. These are my favorite cosmos, and I didn't really have them in the potager in the kitchen garden. They're just here, and they just started blooming because they went in so late. Aren't they beautiful? I'll be cutting these to bring in tonight. And there's a little bit of sweet alyssum right there. Okay, panning over these. These are all just weeds, and we may just come tomorrow. My husband's gonna come out with me. We still have some compost that we need to put on the beds. We need to actually get it out of the way, because when it snows, that's where he sticks some of the snow. So we have cardboard. We had rocks on top of it pretty much all season. But I'll probably come and mow this and put more cardboard down, and then we'll compost the entire area probably tomorrow. And I will be again weeding, especially around the trees, and I'll probably be planting more bulbs around the trees as well. And I did just stick in some snapdragons, so we'll see. This is an experiment. Ideally, they would have been in a while ago, like 4 to 6 weeks before our average last frost, or at least before the frost, to establish, but they were growing for a little while. This is a mix of pink and white I put in here, I believe. This is a Liberty apple. This is a semi-dwarf tree. I did not get to training the branches, which I really wish I had, because some of them are getting kind of thick, but we'll try again next year and just do our best. I mean, it's once it gets more fruit on it, that should pull down the branches a little bit. So yeah, we're gonna, now is not the right time of year, so we're just gonna let it be. It's growing beautifully. We did get some apples off of it. I can't remember how many. Didn't get a ton, so we just ate them as a snack. This is how the pollinator garden's looking at this point. We've got some things that have died off. We had a lot of rain, we had like 2 weeks straight of rain at some point, and some of the things did not like that, like my bergamot there. But it's actually been coming back since then, and the pink yarrow also did not like that, but it's also coming back. And these will all be, these are, I think, almost all perennials, if not all perennials. Well, I have a little cosmos down here, and this is Ceranth. Isn't that beautiful? And those are annuals here. But the rest of these should be perennial. These lavenders did survive last winter, so I'm hopeful that they'll survive again. And yeah, so I'm hoping to get more, to see these back next year. And I might stick some more stuff in there as well, try to pack it full for the pollinators. Oh, there's these little sunflowers actually volunteered. Must have been brought over by some birds. So that was fun. I just let it flower, and then I didn't pick it or anything. It's the pollinator garden. I'm, letting it be there for the pollinators and then for the birds. I have a lot of sunflowers that I just let go in my kitchen garden as well, and birds have been really, really enjoying that, so that's good. Another little cosmo here. All of these little annuals got in really, really late, but I'm excited to see them have some time to bloom, and we've been gifted almost an extra month, it feels like, so that's really nice. We've got some nice weeds here by the little peach tree. This is a peach tree that was in 2019, spring of 2019, it came in as a whip. So it's really, I'm really happy with how it's looking. We got, I think, 2 peaches off of it this year. I was concerned about it early in the year, but it's been, you know, it rebounded, I guess, and looks great now. Over here, I planted a little patch of queen lime zinnias. I also have some in the potager that I've been cutting from. These ones were in later and bloomed later, so I haven't really cut much off of these. I think I cut a little bit once. So I'm gonna come through tonight because, I mean, that just, and this one's a little bit over, but I think it's so beautiful. I might see if I can save seeds from that one. This is the darkest red one I've seen from the queen lime red ones. They are beautiful. I did stick some more snapdragons over here. I stuck in the Rembrandt ones, and I did grow those this year. My daughter really liked them, and I found them to just be a little short for cutting purposes, but I thought I'd try them here. If they don't, all these snapdragon stuff, if they don't do well, I will start more in the spring and just put more in. But I thought they'd just be good. Pollinators also like them. They're beautiful, and they can be ornamental here. The view this way. Let's actually go over this way. Basically a lot of fun herbs and flowers. I've got elder trees flanking here. They grew great this year. We got a lot more rain. They're very, very happy. So yes, and I gave them more compost and mulch, and I did put some violets in. So hopefully they've established enough, and we'll see a bunch more violets. And I'd love for them to just spread all around the base here, kind of like the ground ivy is doing right now. I have not weeded this really at all, except for when I planted things. So we did put, like, we mowed and then put compost and then cardboard and then a thick layer of mulch, and this is still what happens here, and I didn't edge it out, so that's got to be done. Just time, and I have very minimal help, so just to see. Okay, this is a Rosa rugosa, and I missed the bloom, but there must have been one because I do see a hip here. I don't want to get myself with the thorn. How beautiful is that? I'm just going to let that be this year. It's establishing its root system, and I know that's so pretty. I'll probably let a critter get that, or a bird, and just leave that for right now. But I'm hoping it'll grow even more next year. I had another one that I planted that didn't make it. I got them both bare root, and I've had really good luck planting bare root things, but that one just didn't take. So I think next year I'll probably go out and get another Rosa rugosa, maybe a white blooming one. This is I'm gonna say pink. And then on the end of that bed, we've got another elderberry. This one, as well as the one on this side, are coarser, and then the other two are Semil and Samdal, and I'm not 100% sure which is which. I don't know if they might still have the tag, so I could check, but it's not, you know. They're both great. And they're all Sambucus nigra. Okay, so I did, ooh, it looks like I might have something up here. I did seed some mullein earlier, so there looks like we do have some little ones, which is great. I would like this to be a patch of mullein that I can harvest from. We have some around the property, but it's not really in purposeful places, and yes, so I wanted a little purposeful patch here, and hopefully I'll probably seed some more in the spring, and hopefully we'll keep reseeding. It's a biennial, so that would be great. And I might extend these beds a little bit more. We'll have to see how it goes. You can see my kids' play area there. I have lots of plans for this area, putting more fruit trees and bushes, and this whole area will basically be an orchard that has a little solar canopy and a play area in it. And I'm very excited for that, but it takes time. My lavender hedge is doing great. So this lavender is Munstead, as is the other lavender I showed earlier. And it does pretty well in this area. It's, you know, most lavender prefers sandy soils and, you know, really well draining and, you know, warm temperatures. It is a Mediterranean plant, and we definitely have the opposite of that here. But this variety has been great so far, so I'm really hoping that these survive as well as the other ones did. I'm going to try to come through tonight and cut these. It's, I mean, just so gorgeous. Look at that. You can tell these are like fresher ones right here too. They come up this really dark color. See if it'll focus. I don't know. And then they lighten up beautiful. And this is yarrow, and I would love to have a patch of yarrow in here. I just have to be careful it doesn't take over. It is also a great medicinal herb. A lot of these are medicinal herbs. I tried to put a little path in here. I'd love to have creeping thyme in there, and so I'll work on that more next year. I think I tried to seed it and just didn't come up. And then I put a row of calendula here. I think I tried to plant St. John's wort in here, and it just got weeded out. There's a stake here, and I don't see anything that really looks like St. John's wort, so I'll try again next year. My lemon balm, this is lemon balm that I transplanted, and it's glorious. Look at it. It's just like grown so much. Yeah, so that's great. I love lemon balm, so I'll be really happy to see that in the spring as well and make a bunch of lemon balm stuff. I might actually harvest some of this tonight too, because it looks like it's got some of those fresh leaves. And back to this elder. Okay, let me pop into this hydrangea over here, and then I will, yeah, ignore the dead mums, and then I will hop over to the other side. These are all, so they did burn a bit, and this is in pretty full sun, and it might not be perfect for it, but it was looking really good for most of the year, and so I think it's okay, and it's just getting late in the year, and this is just what's happening at this point. Look at that color though. So we did get a lot more rain this year, hoping that's good. At some point I want to create a little purposeful bed around here to try to keep the weeds out from its base, and probably plant some lower flowers there, make it a little bit more purposeful, but that's for the future as well. You can see our beautiful willows there. They're just starting to turn. I don't know if you can see that. A little bit yellow in there. And the scenery is gorgeous. Fall in Vermont is beautiful. I encourage you to come visit anytime. You can see my compost is crazy over there. I've got tomato vines and pumpkins growing out, and those are going to need to be cleaned up over the next few days. That's our compost pile there that we have to spread. My husband's been stressing about that because he doesn't want it to snow and then have that in the way. So we're gonna take care of it tomorrow. All right, I'm gonna cut through here so I can show you more of what's happening on that side, and then we'll go over to the berries. Okay, so we've got gooseberries in here. One of them has mostly lost its leaves, one's working on it. We got gooseberries this year, so that was really exciting. This is really weedy. I haven't touched it other than to harvest gooseberries this year. So yes, we'll just see what happens. I did have some chives in here. Here they are. I can sort of see them amongst the weeds. Yeah, so a lot of this stuff, some of it I'll come through and weed this fall. It's just gonna depend when we get time for. I'm gonna get to what I can. This is a Liberty apple tree. Nope, the other one was Liberty. This is a Zestar apple tree. And this is a standard size tree. So it's gonna get, I think, like it's supposed to get around 25 feet. So this will look a lot different in 5-10 years in this area. And some of these plants that I planted along the bottom may have to move, although some of them are shade tolerant. So this one got nibbled this year. I don't know if you can tell. The deer came in, nibbled it, and ate the apples that we were getting. But again, it's small, it's okay. My goal would be, you know, eventually these are going to be big and produce a lot of apples, and in that case I am really happy to share with wildlife. I really try to take a natural approach as much as possible, so as long as they're not completely decimating things, I'm happy to share. In here we've got a lot more weeds. I did try to plant some hollyhocks. So hollyhocks like to be direct sowed, and I don't know why I didn't do that, but I didn't. So I started some inside. Oh, because I needed to weed and I was procrastinating, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I started some inside, and I just have a couple in there to see if they'll bloom next year. I'm not sure if that'll work or not. Okay, here are some more zinnias. Now, I thought I had put, so I grew both a unicorn mix and a country fair mix, and it looks like some of both might have gotten in here, because this one definitely looks like the unicorn mix, but then this yellow here looks a little too bright for it. It looks like a country fair, so that might have snuck in. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, they are beautiful and like a happy pop of color, and I'm hoping to do more zinnias and other flowers like this throughout the orchard next year, and get them in a little earlier. Over back here, we do have a currant bush. It's just like done for the season. I don't know if it got mildew or what is going on. I just put it in, I bought it at the nursery and just put it in this spring. And we actually did get a couple berries off of it, but not enough to really do anything with. I don't know what this weed is. I'm pretty sure I didn't plant this, so I'll probably pull that. I'm not 100% sure. It's growing beautifully though. This is a variety of Joe Pye weed that my son picked out, and I didn't realize it got these gorgeous flowers. I actually picked some for arrangements earlier because, I mean, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. There's my comfrey. That looks like it might also have mildew at this point, but I'm gonna be chopping that and putting that down. This is another apple. This is a Duchess of Oldenburg. This one did not flower or fruit this year, but it's still pretty young, so we'll give it some time. Hopefully, maybe next year. We'll see how it goes. I mean, it's still growing beautifully. And all of these apples that I planted in here are earlier apples. They're summer apples, and they don't store well. And so in the future, I am hoping to plant some more fall-winter apples that are better for storage. But I wanted to plant, a couple that would pollinate each other. That was important to me. So yeah, that's what that's looking like right now. We're gonna kind of pan over and hopefully not make you dizzy to the berry garden on the other side of the basketball court. In past years, the basketball court was covered in branches and such, and I managed to keep it clear pretty much all year, so that's exciting. All right, back here we've got our honeyberries. Now, this is so weedy again, and this one's particularly bad. Let's see if I can find this one here. I'm hoping, I'm gonna come in and weed this over the next week or so. We'll see, hopefully that one survives. These ones I had extra because mine were looking like this. I put them in, I have several that I put in last spring, and I thought they weren't surviving. They looked really bad last fall. I also had this weed problem and all sorts of problems. So, and it was really dry, and so I thought for sure I had killed most of them. So I ordered a whole new set. I had 6 in, I ordered 6 more, and figured if I had like 2 extra or something, I could stick them at the ends or somewhere else. Well, all of mine came back, so I just extended my beds. So I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, on this side, and I think there's 4 on the other side. And there's some different varieties. I think that one's an Aurora. This one here is, oh, it came off, but I think I have it written down. Hopefully I have it written down. Let's see. And then there's another Aurora in here. They tend to be, they've been smaller for me overall so far, and they might just be slower growers, but this guy is just taking off. And he went in later last year to replace one that didn't survive, and this is a Polar Jewel. Let's see in there. So with honeyberries, it's important to have varieties that pollinate each other. They're also called haskap, just so you know, Japanese haskap. And there are many different varieties, and you have to make sure not all of them pollinate each other, and they do need pollinators, so you have to be careful about that. There is a volunteer tomato plant back here, and I think it's because it was in the compost I put in around it last fall, and I just left it. I'll be pulling it soon. Again, with these beds, we did mow, put a thick layer of cardboard and a thick layer of mulch, and still this is what's happening. I am heartened to see mushrooms though. Mushrooms mean the soil is doing well. It's good for that. This is another variety. Let's see here. This is another Aurora, and this was planted, so we're getting into, these ones were planted last year. So they grew a bit more this year, which is great. And I will probably go in more in depth in different kinds of honeyberries, hopefully in the spring. This is a cherry tree. They are sour or tart cherries. This is Montmorency, and we put these in last year. This one came a little bigger than the trees we normally get. I think it was just what they had in stock from where I ordered. I put them in bare root. We actually got fruit from this one this year. Cherry blossoms are gorgeous, and so, you know, in 5 years or so, whenever it gets a lot bigger in the spring, I can see these out my bedroom window, and I think that will just be glorious. I did leave this gap here. Design wise, I'm thinking of expanding back and doing something back here, maybe even a greenhouse. I'm not 100% sure yet, so if you have ideas, let me know. I have another cherry tree over here. This one came smaller, and it's stayed pretty small. I'm hoping next year it'll jump up a bit, but again, I have not been good about weeding around here. I didn't put extra cardboard around the cherry trees because we did have daffodils and alliums up. So I did weed around them last fall when I planted those daffodils and alliums. But after they faded, or even, you know, as they were blooming and the weeds came up, I just didn't get to it this year. So hopefully I will be coming around to just at least weeding these areas and putting some more compost down. Okay, and then again, we got more honeyberries over here. We've got, most of them were planted last year, and then the one at the end, which I think is called Honeybee, and I just love the name of it, went in this year, and that's probably growing the best out of the ones I planted this year. You can see there. Okay. Let's look at the raspberries. I actually spent some time last week. I can't even tell you how many hours. I think it took me about 2 hours per bed to weed. The grass is already coming back up. These are actually fall raspberries, and so, I mean, I picked them a couple days ago. We might have some. Let's see here. These are yellow. These are called Ann Yellow. And that one might be red. It's not quite done. It's not quite ready yet. But tomorrow I'm going to come out and check. Yeah. And I cleaned these out. So I cut down any canes that were dead. These are fall blooming canes. So, oh, there's some red ones over here. These are Heritage. These are also fall. Obviously, these are fall. These ones I can pick. These are, which means that these ones fruit on their prima canes, or the canes that grow that year. And so after these are done fruiting, I could cut them back, but what I like to do is I like to leave them, and then in the spring I cut back, you know, just the area where they have fruited here, the top. And I did get a little bit of a harvest this past spring doing that, and so I'll probably continue to do that, and then the new canes will grow. And then if I keep them weeded, hopefully they will do better. I don't want to put cardboard around, like I really want the canes coming up in the middle there, so I am going to put cardboard down along the edges, even though that might stop some of the canes, but I do need to keep them contained, and I just need some help with the grass. So I did leave that one milkweed there. So it's there. Yes. Let's, you can see the ones on the other side. Those are summer bearing, so those fruit on the prior year's canes. So the canes that grew this year will fruit next year. And so we didn't get a ton from them. Well, we actually got quite a few. The purple raspberry ones are the ones closer to us. I think it's Purple Royalty, and they did give us some fruit this year because they grew pretty well. I actually weeded, well, this one had thicker cardboard when we first planted it, so that it wasn't as bad. I mean, it got bad by the end of the year, but it wasn't as bad this spring, and so yeah, it wasn't as bad this spring. So we did get some harvest off of that, and the other one I did weed early in the year, and so they did a little bit better. But I'm excited because they look pretty healthy with, a lot of these canes are newer canes. I cut off ones that were dead, but again, I can't, there's probably some that are older canes in there that I could cut off, but I'll probably just leave them to the spring and see how it goes then. I'd rather, there's not so much that it's creating an airflow problem right now, so yes, I will be leaving that. And the ones back there are another red, they're Heritage. Okay, so there's blueberries here. They get such a gorgeous color, don't they? I love that so much. It was kind of hit or miss with blueberry production this year, but I can see that if they're all in full production, we get quite a bit of berries. I did weed that one bed so far, and these are going to be a priority for me tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow morning I'm going to come out and try to finish weeding these, especially this bed here. These ones were planted last year. Most of the rest were planted the year. Well, okay, I should say this whole bed was planted last year, and then the ones on the ends of the other beds were planted last year, and you can really tell they're much smaller. And unfortunately, these got with the weeds and such, so a lot of them are hiding in there. I've been peeking at them. They still look okay, and I might even, I don't know, it's probably too late in the year to give them a nitrogen feed, but I am going to put some compost down for sure. So They give beautiful fall color though, don't they? Like I think it would be a great idea if you're trying to do like an edible landscape. I really think blueberry bushes are a great option. They're, you know, they're hardy in a lot of places and they give this gorgeous fall color. Their flowers are gorgeous before you get the berries. So anyway, I recommend that. My blackberries are so beautiful and I really need to kind of clean them up and tie them up because they keep getting kind of nipped off by the mower because they're just growing all over the place. So this one's a lot more upright than I thought it would be, and I think this is I planted 2 different kinds. There's a Duchess and there's a, I want to say triple crown, and I can't remember 100% what kind that is. I'd have to look, but yeah, that one's a lot more upright than the other one, and as my husband said, I probably should have put taller posts in, and he's right, I should have put taller posts in, but I'm gonna just keep winding them around each other and such, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Yes. All right, and you can kind of see where the front of the house is a mess. That is not part of the tour today, but I guess I am giving you a peek. I have lots of plans for that next year, and I'm sure I'll talk to you about it this winter. If you want to hear more, you should subscribe. Before we go, I do want to show you how the green stalk went, in case you've been following along. So it did pretty well. I've since cut back the borage on top, and some of the other flowers are pretty much done. But the strawberries still look fine. I had to come through and clean them up once. I don't know if I finished. And there's some weeds down at the bottom here. But yeah, it did really well. I'm not 100% sure what to do this fall because I don't really want to move them at this point. So I might just try to stick straw on top and hope that that's good enough. I don't know, guys. We'll just have to see how it goes. My only regret is these are a June bearing variety, and so they only fruit in June. And I kind of wish I had an ever bearing variety in here so that the flowers and the berries would keep producing all year. So that's the only downside. And but I'm going to leave them for right now, and we'll see how it goes. I'll also give you a quick peek of this planter because it's still, I've got, the breezeway's a mess, so ignore that, but it's still going strong. We're towards the end of October, and look at that. These are, I think they're double begonias, beautiful red. It's a lot deeper in person than it's showing on the screen right now. And then that's the white flowers are bacopa, and then my love in a puff didn't want to climb up here, but I got some love in a puff there. I've been so pleased with that. They just keep kind of reflowering, reflushing there. And the begonias have just been going all year. The bacopa, it does this, and then it reflowers again. So, I mean, that one's probably done now. That one looks a lot drier than the other one. So I'm kind of wondering, oh, you know what? My toddler might have been actually watering that one for me. That might have been what happened. I hope you enjoyed the tour. Check out this video if you haven't already. And happy gardening, friends.